Okay, we'll discuss about X043. Okay, and you have X041 on the above. Okay, these are the three what you can say standard PCRs which will generate the overall career of the employee, from the retro path. Okay, so we'll just discuss uh, you know these three what it will exactly do. So before we do, I think whatever the PCRs we have written, we'll just comment initially. Okay, right? These are the PCRs we have written. We'll discuss once this was the standard. This was completed. Okay. Okay. So now we'll just process uh, the payroll. We'll just read the how the retro log was happening. So within the retro payroll, okay, for the month of January, we are running for February now. So you can see it is going to else log and it will go to the loop over results. Okay. So as I said, import function, okay, will import the ORT. Okay, this is the old RT. You can see, uh, the employee salary over here. Okay, the old RT consists of 92 uh, thousand. Okay, of basic, and you can see 46,000 of you know some house rent. Okay, so once you got the old RT over here, okay, so the PORT function will take ORT as input, okay, and process the PCR X042. Okay, so I will just explain you what X042 will do as well. Okay, so once you got the X042 within the ORT, okay, so the X042 will capture the slash 560 amount, if you can see over here. Okay, slash 560 is the payment 139480. Okay, okay, and it will push it to, okay, majorly wage step called slash 551. Okay, slash 551 is the wage tab which will capture the differences within the capture the difference of net pay within the retro. Okay, that is the difference between ORT and RT. Okay, simply speaking, what exactly got on that old result and what is the amount he got in the present result. If both are same, the error will become zero. Okay, if there is a difference, it will capture over here. Initially, the value, the 560 value will be subtracted, okay, from slash 551 over here. Okay, so you can, you know, you can use print function, or you can see the difference table over here. Okay, you have a DT table over here. Okay, you can see that was subtracted from slash 551. So whatever the net pay he got, okay, so it will be storing in, okay, is waste type slash 551. Okay, so this is the minus value where you can place over. So the ORT amount will be subtracted from slash 551. Then, okay, there is a PCR X043 which will be taking from the IT, which will be calling with function PIT, that is process IT. Why? Because IT slash 560 is the present IT. What is there? Okay, so you have the present IT 140980. That is the current net pay after the changes. Okay, so that will be, if you see here again for 560, the rule will, okay, read here, it will just compare the amount. If it is not 0, okay, and if it is greater than 0, we can say, so now it is adding the waste type to difference table to slash 551. So whatever the current IT amount is there, that amount will be stored in, you know, so this amount will be added to again slash 551. Okay, so finally the value will be sum of these two. Okay, because we are one is adding and one is subtracting. So the 1500 difference should be stored, okay, in your DT table. Right, this is the difference amount. Okay, and it will capture period wise, because the retro runs you can have several. The, let us say if it gone to retro for 10 months, you will be having a time stamp or year, means period stamp or year.
Uh,
Okay, to identify from which period what is the amount you got as a area.
can you please
Okay,
repeat?
so in
Can you please repeat once again? Where did that minus value come from? That minus amount?
see, we have majorly two PCRs, okay,
Okay, okay,
involved in the retro time.
okay,
Okay, apart from standard functions. Okay, one is X042, which is called with PORT. Okay,
okay,
this is the old RT what exactly employee got for this particular period, for January.
okay,
Okay, so this is the net pay employee received,
okay.
right? This
560.
is the net pay 560. This
Okay,
already employee received for the month of January. Okay, so this is the
okay,
old one.
okay,
Okay, so this PCR what it will do, it will capture this 560 value.
okay,
Okay, 560 value, it will as it is pass 560 to, results table, and here again it will SUBWT T means subtract from difference table to this waste type.
okay.
Okay, so what it will do is, so that because of that subtract function, 139480 will store in slash 5a1, slash 551 as
Okay,
a minus value.
okay,
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 then okay, the next PCR, okay, X043, okay, will get the 560 from present IT. Okay, this is the current IT. So after we have done few of the changes, after the changes, what is the
okay,
560?
okay,
Okay, that 560 now it will get added, okay, with the ADDWT T function with the same waste type.
okay,
Okay, one PCR is subtracting, one PCR is adding.
okay.
So finally you will get the difference. It can be plus or minus. For example, employee got this already as his salary. After that, client, user thought that we have paid excess, and if he reduces the salary, so this will become minus
Okay,
1500. So which will be a recovery.
okay.
Like, okay, that is what actually the area complete concept is as well. Okay, so you can see the difference table over here, which is captured in 15.
Okay,
Okay, okay. Likewise, once we got the difference from the what you say, the retro path. Okay, in the current means in the original period. Okay, your retro subschema will go to the rule X041. Okay, X041 rule, what it will do, it is calling with PDT. Okay, process difference table. So whatever the difference tables you have for n number of retro periods, okay, it will capture over here, and it will be taking as input for this particular PCR. Now you got this 1500 from different retro periods. Okay, so that PCR, it will just push this to slash 552, which is the actual area. Okay, which will be stored in the original period. Okay, and the same amount anyhow it should add, because this is 1500 is the area, so that area should add to net pay. It will add to net pay as well. Okay, so here you can see ADDWTI, that is to the input table, and it is adding to net pay. So now this is the difference, okay, which already added to your net pay as well. So this is exactly the difference where you can find out here. Okay. If you see here, the retro, I think the difference amount I didn't printed. Okay, these are the earnings. Okay, okay. So I think there is no deductions, but if you see the net pay, okay, this is your net pay. Okay, right. So the difference will be that 1500. Okay, why? Because that slash 552 we are not printing on the payslip. Okay, so let us say now. I think this is clear until here. Any questions on this?
No, no, it's clear.
Okay. So now there are two, different concepts for displaying the arrears. Okay. So anyhow, by default, the arrear amount will add to net pay. Okay. This is slash 560. Okay. There is nothing to write or modify the standard things, because it's by standard the amount will add to your net pay. Okay, but if you see, you have two options over here where you can explain to the client this slash 552. Okay, you can adjust your payslip like this. Okay, you can map directly the slash 552 to the payslip, which will, you know, slash 552 is the difference. Okay, which is the actual area. Okay, here I am just printing this on the payments window here. Okay. Okay, if I print this, now if you see here, your total earnings and your net pay are same now. Okay, which will be a straight solution. Okay, but now, okay, but now let us say now client have a requirement, I want what area is this 1500. Okay, so like how much is the basic area, how much is the HRA or any other. Okay, I want to get the actual areas to be displayed in the payslip, not like total area. Okay, so then you have to build for many of the countries already there are predefined PCRs. Okay, if it is not there, you can create the PCRs to capture those area wastage as well. Okay, so what I will do here is now, so I will just unmap this, because now the let us assume the client requires the exact values from which waste type, what is the area we got. Okay, so for that purpose we have written two PCRs, and we have copied the one existing PCR as well. Okay, okay, so you can see here. Okay, I think the this is the third PCR. We'll come to that. Okay, X042. Okay, we have, and uh, ZR10. Okay, so we have created ZR10 over here. Okay, I'll just explain you. Okay, ZR10 is almost similar to X042. Okay, so if you see here ZR10, I don't save this. We have created ZR10, ZR20, and ZR30. Okay, so we'll straight forward go to the PCR first. What we have written, ZR10. Okay, so this PCR will be called with PORT function. Just I have mentioned it in the text of the PCR. Okay, so here what I am using, I am just comparing what is the waste type is flowing. Okay, within the ORT. Okay, within the ORT, if there is any other way steps, I am not doing anything. Okay, if it is 0 100, that is the base. Okay, or 0 200 or 1 OVR. Okay, so what I am telling, if 0 100, it should subtract the same logic which I explained. Okay, with the standard rule, if you remember. Okay, x042, the same logic I am using. Okay, I am not building any new logic, but for this is for our custom base step, not for flat 560. Okay, so now I am subtracting it with to the difference table to a way step called 0110. Okay, so whatever the old RT basic had, it will subtract from 0110, which is the way step. Okay, similarly for 0200, there is a it will subtract from a different way step 0210. Okay, for 1 OVR, it will subtract from 1 OV1. Okay, any questions on this?
Understood.
Okay, similarly, we have written, or we'll just run the, okay. So the similarly, we have a second PCR, okay, ZR20, which we have created, okay. So the second PCR, what we are doing, we are just adding the value, okay. 0100 is there, we are adding to the same base type now, okay. The initial one we subtracted, okay. This PCR will be called with present RT, okay. Why? Because your basic, okay, and your allowances will be stored in RT at the time where you are calling the PCR. So we call this PCR with PRT, that is present RT, okay, and we'll add to the same waste type so that you will get the differences, okay, in these waste types. Okay, so what we will do is
Why do we
if
write
there is any
that?
question.
Why do we write that elimination and eliminate and star? What is that for? Eliminate the time period ID.
Yeah,
The
see,
first line.
within the RT, let us say you have, you will have a different time indicators. Okay, so I will just ignore the time indicators, like for example, because I am writing uh, this PCR, let us say for example, just wait a second. Okay, you can see different indicators over here. Okay, for this waste type, it is star. Okay, this
Okay.
is also one of the indicator.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for this it is 3.
Okay.
Okay, likewise, these are all for the different purposes. Okay, let us say if you have 0 100 with star over here. Okay, so let us say if you go back somewhere to the you know IT or somewhere, you see here for basic it is 3 here. Okay, so somewhere around we have already the standard system already eliminate this split indicator to star. Okay, but let us say for example for any of the waste steps, okay, you don't you don't have if you are not eliminating this split, okay, within the calculations, let us say you have two uh, where you have a split for the organization. One waste step for one OVR, it stands for PCR group 3. The other waste step stands for star. Then the calculation will go wrong for you. Okay. So before I read, okay, before I take the amount from here, I will just, okay, eliminate all the splits, all the time periods. You can go to the documentation why Elmi, you know, will go. So eliminate indicator, the use is to, okay, remove the split indicators. Okay, this will work when we discussed about the splits, Shweta.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, there
Okay.
you can identify if you have multiple waste types, means
Mm-hmm.
same waste type multiple times.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, then there will be a gap.
Mm-hmm.
Let us say if there is a different split indicator for that.
Okay.
So for safer purpose, whenever you are calling, final results tables and all this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
we'll put a Elmi star.
Okay.
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 Further, you can go to the, documentation. What each letter indicates what.
Okay.
These many indicators you have. If you put star, it will be for all. Okay. The indicator can be because of work. That is the split.
Okay.
Okay, work center split, or you have a different kinds of splits.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here what will you do generally is it will just put Elmi star, so that if any of the indicators are there, we will just ignore those and we will add that amount to this one.
Add wage type D1 OV1. So D1 and D0 are difference tables.
It is not D1. Okay.
Add wage type.
EDDWT is the operation.
Yeah, add
Wage
wage
type
type, correct.
D is to difference table and
Difference
one
table.
OV1 is the wage
Yeah,
type.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Difference
Okay.
table.
Here 0210 is the wage type.
Okay.
0110 is the wage type.
Mm-hmm. D is difference table. Okay.
Yeah. D is difference table. So you can, if you put E, it will go to your RT table. Okay. This also you can check. Okay.
Okay.
Here.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what is D?
Okay.
Okay.
Results table.
DT
Okay.
table it will add. Okay. If you put say some E, it
Mm-hmm.
will go to straightforward results table. Like you have a different
Mm-hmm.
tables how you can manage ADD,
Okay.
WT or SUBW.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
So the ZR10 will subtract and ZR20 will add.
Add. Okay.
So finally the difference should store in the relevant register. So what I will do is I will just activate these you know PCRs in the schema. Okay, and we'll just see how it will work. Then I will discuss this as well. Okay, once we see the difference part over here. So now what I will do, I will just process the payroll again. Oh, okay. So that is okay. That I know what it was. So let us say if you go to the retro period now, okay. So you can see, okay, your ZR10, right? So what it will do, it will take the old RT, okay. You can see the basic and HRE and overtime as well over here, okay. So what it will do, it will just see, it will take these values and it will put it in your DT table. Okay, you can see all these minus values which are storing. Okay, this is the standard 551 which already we captured. These three are generated because of our PCR. Okay, this is the first PCR which will capture all these. Okay, waste types to the difference table. Okay, so the second PCR will take PRT as input. Why PRT? Because all the waste types, okay, will store in your RT results table. Okay, so from the results table, uh, you can see the process. Okay, for basic I am adding to 0101 again. Okay, here I am adding, here I am not subtracting. Okay, so now after adding all these things, okay, it your difference table will have the differences of the amount. Okay, so now you got 1000 is from your basic, okay, and 500 is for your HR. Okay, in the difference table. Okay, so it will all it should be, finally the total difference should be equal to your individual wage differences. Okay, so what it will happen in the current PCR, if you see the standard PCR, ideally we have to comment this standard one because we have copied already. Okay, so here in this PCR we have to define our area wage steps as well. Okay, if not it will throw you a error or. Okay, so we have not defined these three PCRs in the you know. So what we have to do is you can I will show you this one as well. If you comment this, so now I will just explain you what X0 41. I think we already seen this. If you see, this standard PCR is written only for /551. Okay, the standard system will expect only /551 in DT table, not any other waste type. Okay, if any other waste types are in DT table, if any other waste types, it will throw the error.
Ah.
Okay, so that is the reason what we have done. We copied this X041, okay, to ZR30. Okay, so then including this /551 logic, we have added our custom waste types as well. Okay, so now the DT table stores with 0110 for basic. I am pushing it to area waste type 0120, like 0, okay, 220, and then 1 OB2. Okay, so now if you run the payroll, okay, so you will get a individual sorry, waste types with the difference amount. You can see here you have process DT. Okay, you got all these difference tables. Okay, so finally it will push to area waste types for each this one. Okay, I think we have already straightforward push it to RTO here. You can see here ADDWT then E. Okay, so finally it will go to RT. Okay, so you can I think we already have this waste type printed in payslip. You can see basic career 1000. Okay, HRA 15. So the remaining things. So finally your net pay and the earnings will be same. So this is how the area and the retro functionality will work. Any questions on this?
How do we create, say, custom processing classes and all? Are we doing that?
Yes, yes. In
Okay,
the next topic.
okay, okay.
Somewhere here we have, okay, in the tax part,
Okay,
okay, we create our own
processing class. Okay,
custom processing class and we'll just try to write few of the PCRs.
okay.
Krishna, we also will cover one and payslips, right? One session on payslips. Are you going to cover the payslips? P51?
Okay, no issues. We'll do one thing, Vijay. We'll just complete this tax part once it was done. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We'll work on any of the additional things if you require. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, then that's all from my side for the day. Okay. So I think I will just inform you when we can meet, for the next class. Okay. If really I'm free for the next week, I will inform you couple of days before itself. Okay. So positively as of now,